Hi and a warm welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be planting out these tomato plants, but with a difference. Over recent years we've been restricted with growing tomatoes in containers, but this year we're going to utilise this small bed which was created last year. And what we're going to do this time is something different. When you plant tomatoes in a container, you're actually limited by the depth of that container to how deep you plant the tomato plants. But in this bed, this soil goes all the way down. It's not just a raised bed, it actually goes down into the soil. And what I'm going to try this year, planting the tomatoes really deep. What you may have already seen on some of the YouTube channels that grow vegetables is tomato plants that are planted quite deep and then let to go horizontally, and then literally all of this stem is buried under the soil. And what you end up with is all the stem being buried and then just the very tip left out to grow. So that tip will then be grown upwards, and that's where it will bear fruit on the flowers grown on that part of the plant, and this whole stem will be under the soil. Now in a bed like this, it's going to be difficult to do that, and this year, because we're going to be using this bed, we can go literally as deep as we like. So on this one I've just dug a massive hole, and if you can see now, I'm burying it. So the first set of leaves, second, third, fourth, so getting on between the third and the fourth set of leaves. So that is quite deep, and it does mean that you are giving the plant a lot more stability, because these stems will form roots. And the idea behind burying them deep, whether they're buried deep vertically or horizontally and covered in the stems, is that when you get the stems rooting, it can take up all the moisture and all the nutrients and help to feed the tomatoes. So in theory, the deeper your plants go into the ground, the better your tomato crop will be. So for this one, I've got a really big hole dug there, and I'm literally going as far as I can, digging all of this out, and I'm just going to take that out of its pot. Oh, look at all them beautiful roots. And then I'm just going to put it all the way down, and what I'm going to do is remove all of these lower leaves that are going to be underneath the soil. And then we can just backfill that, covering all of that stem up. And already I can feel that has a lot more stability in that plant. So I just need to tie that in with some twine just to give it a little bit of support along the stem, and that will help it to grow and to flourish and provide us with lots and lots of juicy tomatoes. So I'm going to now get the rest of the crop in exactly the same way. So I've got all these tomato plants in, they're all staked, they're all buried really deep, and I just think we're going to get a really bumper harvest this year by using this technique. All I need to do now is just give them a really good water. So while I'm getting on with this, thank you so much for watching this video. about how to plant tomato plants. I do hope this technique is something that you'd be willing to try out. Like I say, we're normally growing plants in containers, so as you can see, a lot of our tomatoes, even by the side of me here, are actually in containers. But I thought this year we'd try something different. We'd utilise this space and we'll see what happens by planting them really, really deep. And just to recap, the reason why we're planting deep is to ensure that the roots on the stems are formed. And when the roots on the stems form, it means that the plant has a better capacity of drawing up nutrients, drawing up water, and feeding those lovely fruits and getting those fruits prepared and ready for harvest. So please, as always, give us a like, please subscribe. Subscribing is free, doesn't cost you anything. It's not a club that you have to pay anything towards. It's basically just a free subscription. And if you do have any comments about this technique, or if you'd like to share the way that you grow your tomato plants with us, I really would be happy to hear about it. And just put those comments in the comments box below the video. We'll see you very soon on the next video. In the meantime, please do take care and happy gardening.